Well, looks like YouTube is trying to kill its content creators again, and do you know what that means? It means recording with really bad acoustics. Hello, people of Earth and elsewhere. Welcome to the Spam Channel, where we will discuss the newest YouTube apocalypse. Seems like one every third month these days. What is up with that? So you guys may or may not have seen the hashtag COPPA thing going around, and that has a good portion of the YouTubers spooked. And it's not exactly without reason. The way that YouTube has implemented its new system is going to drastically affect a lot of channels on here, although probably not to the extent that people think it will. So what is COPPA? In case anyone doesn't know, it's a law established by the FTC, that is the Federal Trade Commission, designed to help keep kids safe on the internet. Not bad in theory, but how they are using it and what it is being used for now is practically criminal in and of itself. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act was instituted in 1998 by the FTC to prevent websites from collecting personal data from people 12 years of age or younger. This is why websites like YouTube have, or at least had, a 13 and up policy, because they make money based off of the information they take from their users. We all know that an age restriction doesn't stop kids from getting onto YouTube anyway, and since COPPA wasn't being expressly enforced, YouTube just took and distributed kids' data along with everyone else's so that they would more accurately advertise to younger viewers. Last year, however, the FTC finally decided to enforce this law, or more accurately, it seems this government commission was incentivized to do so. And YouTube got sued for $42,000 and some change for every video they had on the site that was illegally collecting data from underage users. YouTube may be a multi-billion-dollar company, but that's a lot of money to multiply by thousands of videos. Earlier this year, they settled out of this suit for something like $170 million, which is a big hit even for a multi-billion-dollar platform. After that, the FTC went, "Now, you won't do that again, right?" And YouTube said, "No sirree, Bob." As a result, YouTube had to clean up its act and sent out these emails about the changes being made to the platform so we could all be COPPA compliant. See these options? It looks simple enough. But once you know what these buttons do, you'll know how much of a trap it actually is. Basically, YouTube can't tell the difference between an underage user and a legal user of the site until after they've taken their data. So to stop that from happening on accident, they decided that they would not take data at all from the videos and channels that children watch. How do they know what videos and channels children watch? They ask the content creators themselves to tell them. Yep, this is pretty much a blacklist button. You see, there are people on this platform who legitimately have children and families in mind when they make their content, and they make money that way. Good for them. However, if these channels are honest and push the button that says, "Yes, I make content for kids," YouTube says, "Well, we can't collect data from your audience then," and turns off all the features that collect data at all. If you've ever considered making money on YouTube, you know how it works. All the stuff that collects user data is all the same stuff that tells the algorithm how much revenue the videos are generating so that people can get paid. So by turning off all the features to this, like comments, end cards, your community tabs, playlist options, search results, and everything like that, YouTube has made it so that any given video will lose up to 90% of the revenue it would otherwise be generating, and for a whole channel, that almost certainly means death. Not only can it not generate revenue, but it gets harder for videos to even reach any audience, let alone the one that it was intended for. So in short, the button is a trap. Okay, you might say, but what about the other buttons? What stops people from saying, "I want to keep making my money, so I'll just say that my videos are not made for kids so they won't blacklist my stuff"? Well, if you decided to do that, then the feds will be what you have to deal with. Because the FTC has promised to start more strictly enforcing COPPA, and they have said that they will find every video that is lying and trying to make money by appealing to kids, and find the creators the $42,000 and some change for that video. What? Yes. This is what has everyone so upset. For the most part, it's not really possible, or constitutional, but we'll get to that later, for the FTC to do this. But with the chairman saying it'll be like shooting fish in a barrel, tensions are rising and people are scared. Now the first argument I've seen that calls this system out is the one that says, but YouTube is still the one collecting the data, so they're the ones breaking the law, and they are the ones that should still be penalized. And you would be wrong in assuming that. YouTube has paid their fine, and by giving the option to tag their videos to the content creators themselves, YouTube has passed the blame baton, because they are basically setting up a new term and condition that says, if data from our algorithms is taken from underage users, it's because the content creators said it was okay. So yeah, that logic won't fly. What really isn't possible is the thought that the FTC would be able to police the whole platform to find all the liars. Even the entire commission working 24 hours couldn't find everything, and fine everyone on the platform with millions of videos to watch. And the notion that they can do that is insane. We all know this. So why are people still freaking out? Because we know what they'll do. They won't do it personally, they'll make a program to do it. A bot. You know what YouTubers fear most in this world? Algorithms and content check bots. That's because they have experience with them, and it's been getting more and more difficult to get around these algorithms and effectively continue to make money. For years it's been happening. Of course people are going to believe that this system is going to be placed. Now, a reality check says that if such a bot were to exist and the FTC were to use it to flag videos, so many things would go wrong and the platform would implode. Which is what some people are looking to do, but that's aside for now. They can't do that, right? They can't make a bot that will ID children's content and flag videos improperly labeled so that they can be charged a ridiculous amount of money, right? But they already have, people. YouTube itself has told us so. YouTube has said that if you don't comply with the new rule by pressing one of these buttons, they'll just use a program that will automatically go through and ID your videos as kids' content or not themselves. The bot exists, so your fear is real. So what's next? What if I'm not lying and my stuff really isn't for children? I'm safe, right? Wrong! Here's the kicker. It's not just if you can be proved to be lying. It's if the Federal Trade Commission thinks you're lying. Because guess what? Content that is not made expressly for kids might still appeal to kids. And if there's even a chance that a kid might click on your video and their data might be picked up, YouTube won't be held responsible for that. This is the heavy hitter. What the FTC defines as appealing to children is basically anything fun in this world. Toys, arts and crafts, music, celebrities, using lingo like cool or whatever, animation, iconic characters, video games, even bright colors can be considered content appealing to kids. So instead of checking to see if a video is actually child appropriate, they just look to see if they think kids might like it and assume that those videos are directed at 12 and unders. There we go, there's the nail in the coffin. Why almost no one in the pop culture landscape of this platform is safe. Like every other system designed to take away the ability of content creators to sustain a living or grow an audience, it theoretically involves a faulty robot that will inevitably false flag a bunch of videos and end up getting a hell of a lot of people in trouble that they can't manage. The good news is, the probability of a system like this being placed as they describe it is incredibly low, and here's why. Because like I said, a lot of people could get falsely flagged, and if the wrong person gets flagged, said person has it in their rights to fight that $42,000 and plus some change fine in court. You see, even the government doesn't like lawsuits, and the FTC has to know that making a misstep or intentionally using the system to deplatform as many people as possible could cause more than just one lawsuit. The most serious advice going around at this point to prepare for the fallout of the COPPA revision is to get in touch with a lawyer if you think there might be a possibility that you could be falsely fined. YouTube and the FTC have not mentioned any kind of appeal system like with the Content ID claims or with video monetization for these flags and fines. Right now it's just if you get flagged, you get slapped with a fine. So literally all anyone can do to fight a falsely applied fine is to fight the law with the law. The FTC doesn't want this. They may be able to handle 1 or 2 lawsuits from angry creators to settle out in court, but if 100 people with the nuts to fight back get falsely fined, there will be hell to pay. And allow me to say, from my understanding, that's only for the creators inside of the United States where YouTube is based. There are a lot of people who might want to see PewDiePie go down, but the FTC can't fine him because he's not an American citizen. They can't make him obey a law from a government that he's not under the jurisdiction of. And if they try, well, I'd almost like to see them try and see what kind of bull honky they come up with just to justify that. So no, the worst case scenario is so highly unlikely to happen that all the FTC can do is fearmonger and hope that no one sees through the blatant threats that can't be consistently carried out. However, that's not to say that they won't try to stick to their guns even if we call them out on it. These people behind bringing this law to light and pushing it through to the point where there is a threat of YouTube itself imploding under the weight of the consequences need to keep people afraid. So if this law in this form passes, they might not send out a bot to flag and fine people, but they are going to pick and choose people to target. People who barely make any money on this platform, and people who can't pay a lawyer to fight back. They will target a select group who won't be able to do anything about it just to make their point and discourage people from fighting back. They intend to set an example of shooting fish in a barrel, and I do believe that there are groups that need to be afraid of this. In fact, I'd say I'm one of them. Now, some of you might think, but you don't make stuff that's for kids. And you're right, I said that when I clicked the button. According to my analytics, I appeal mostly to 18 to 24-year-olds. I should be good, but I'm not. I have a playthrough of every level on Spyro the Dragon Reignited on this channel, split into more than 30 videos. You think that doesn't have a possibility of taking a hit? Statistically speaking, it might not. There are a heck of a lot of people to choose from for the FTC to make an example of, but quite frankly, I am not prepared to be one of them. It doesn't matter if I've got monetized videos or not, it's the potential data collection that matters and not whether or not I'm making money off of it. I don't want to be a part of that statistic, and neither do a lot of people. Most of us, whether we think we'll be targeted or not, can't afford legal recourse, so we're not going to take the chance on it. I'm just going to have to wait out the storm in the safe zone of calling my videos for children. Admittedly, this is a very sad and really cowardly thing to have to say, but this is what a lot of content creators are going to have to do to protect themselves if the COPPA law passes. That's why we need it to not pass. It's not going to be implemented for another couple of weeks, so in that time we need to spread the word about this, and all that it means, and take matters into our own hands. Look into the situation. There's a petition on change.org looking for 1 million signatures to save family-friendly content, because regardless of the severity of the consequences for channels that don't have kids as their target audience, those channels are going to get hit the hardest. So this petition is to get the FTC to look closer at the revision and fix it in a way that won't kill so many channels. It has over 600,000 signatures at the moment, so give that a try if you feel up to it. If you think that online petitions are fruitless, then you can petition the FTC directly. The revision to COPPA is still up for public comment. Regulations.org is where you can send out a public comment that they say they are going to read. These comments are open until the 9th. So feel free to level your displeasure at the FTC directly this way. Or it's also suggested that you get in touch with your local congressman and say, do you know what it is you just let slip through because you probably thought you were thinking of the children? Don't even get me started on that. The only other advice I have to stop this thing from going through and ruining lives is just to make sure that people know what's happening. Spread the word that the FTC is threatening YouTube, and YouTube is putting damning rules in place just to try and not take the heat anymore. Tell people that even though the worst case scenario is unlikely, it's still much better for everyone potentially affected if this law doesn't pass, and share the ways that they can help. We really do need to just band together, or some of your favorite content creators may have to blacklist themselves just to avoid being part of a statistic. Save child-friendly content, and protect potential victims of false fining. That is the point of this video, and that's what you need to do. I wouldn't be speaking about this if the anime YouTube community hadn't completely ignored restricted mode when that came out and were taken completely by surprise when they started losing revenue. We don't want that to happen again. At least, not the American anime YouTubers. It looks like a lot of them are starting to take notice of this one, so I suppose that this isn't going to be like that time, but you never know. If you've got any states-based anime, cartoon, or other kind of pop culture channel you think has a possibility of getting hit because of these really vaguely based rules, make sure they know about this and encourage their audiences to speak out against the FTC. This could be critical to them because, again, what qualifies as children and child-appealing content is very stupidly defined. We gotta remember, guys, no matter who gets hit, we all lose something when channels start to disappear. We can't let them win. And with that, I must bid thee all adieu. If you've watched this video all the way through, thank you. I hope you've learned something or took something to heart out of this and are going to go help spread the word about how to combat this ridiculous system that they're planning to put in place. Sally forth! Save the internet! Do what you need to do! The last section of this video is just going to be me talking about my plans for the worst case scenario, so if you've got any interest in my channel and my content specifically, keep watching, I've got some stuff to say. This probably won't be the last video I plan on uploading, but it might be the last one you guys see or are notified of. Because if the worst case scenario were to happen and the looming threat of false fines becomes a reality, I need to hide my channel. I'm going to say it's kid-friendly and just take the consequences. Because I don't make money here and that's my best option because let's face it, doing that won't change much about how things work right here anyway. I mean, restricted mode already takes me out pretty hard. And I'm not the kind of person who feels like the risk of all those fines is worth it. I don't upload often, and the videos don't have a high view count, so likely a lot of people won't notice they're missing anyway. If you want notifications at all after this point, you're going to have to follow me on Twitter because that's where I'll be broadcasting that I've uploaded new videos. Essentially everything about my channel will be unlisted, and you'll need to have the links to find them. Comment and subscribe while you can, because all that goes away on these unlisted channels in 2020. Again, this is all about ifs. If this all goes through, you won't really be able to talk to me, and I won't be able to talk to you, and I really, really hate that more than anyone watching this video can imagine. Right now, I really need the feedback, though. I'm not planning on making my content edgier for the sake of trying to make things look less child-friendly. I don't want to change how I run things here, but as I am, I don't stand much of a chance. So that's my plan. What do you guys think I should do? Should I risk it? Should I just blacklist my videos on a case-to-case basis on the off chance of labeling some of them for children might better my odds? Should I find a way to archive my videos? Maybe you want me to put them on a different platform. What sites or social media do you wish you could find me on? As of right now, my DeviantArt account and my Twitter are the best places to get in touch with me personally, especially DeviantArt if you want to keep tabs on what I'm drawing. I do have a Picarto account, and I want to use that for art streams and nerd chats more regularly, and am considering getting a Twitch channel so I can stream Stardew Valley with my friend. I've got nothing else though, so if people think a Spamcracker's Discord server sounds like a good idea, you'll have to tell me, because I am not planning on making one otherwise. If that's the best way for you to be notified when I upload stuff, tell me, because I'm probably not going to do it. I don't have much hope for this channel, but I also really don't want to give up on it. If you want to support the Crackers with money, don't suggest Patreon, because I literally have nothing to offer you guys other than thank yous. Follow my Twitter for the commission sheet I plan on putting up in the new year if you earnestly want to support me as an artist. And that's all I have to say on the matter. I'm sorry I didn't cover the concepts of family-friendly content on YouTube, why it's there, and why they shouldn't try to get rid of it, but I just couldn't fit it in here. With any luck, this law will be postponed or revised further. Hopefully enough people speak up and out against it, and the worst-case scenario doesn't happen, and YouTube only makes changes that we can all find ways to work around, like every other change they made. We have managed to weather through some tough spots in the past, and I pray that this is just another one of those, but only time will tell. Thanks again, people of Earth and elsewhere, for taking the time to watch this video all the way through, and with the most sincere salutation, I hope I can see you in the next video. Ciao! Wait a minute. The Children's Online Privacy Protection Act has a general audiences clause? YouTube!